Stevenson called him a duck. He claims he sent you a contract to fight him with the WBC order to fight.
I tried to make it happen because everybody wanted to comment under my opponent and like, oh, he's not that good. He's a bum. The boy don't want no smoke. He said, oh, we didn't send a contract.
So Stenson called him mad. He claims he sent you a contract to fight him with the WBC order to fight after so much back and forth the fight between Shakur Stevenson and Isaac Cruz has just been confirmed. I tried to make it happen because everybody wanted to comment under my opponent. And like, oh, he's not that good, he's a bum. However, Isaac Cruz's team gave Shakur Stevenson a necessary condition before they could agree. The boy don't want no smoke, he said. Oh, we didn't send a contract. You want to know what it is after call out Dan Davis for weeks. And not seeing the opportunity of a possible matchup, passed over him to his fellow top rank mate, Vasyl Lomachenko. Shakur Stevenson finally decided to move on with Isaac Cruz. There was a fight that a lot of people wanted to see was you versus Shakur Stevenson. Shakur Stevenson said he's retired. I don't know if it's true or not. Von Davis showed some interest in taking on any of the top dogs in the division. However, Vasyl Lomachenko looks like his very next opponent in a matchup that's set to happen later this year. One of the key factors hastening the potential fight is Vasyl Lomachenko's age. The world champion is currently 36 years. And despite that, may still feel the fight against Von Davis is a late fight, and Tank's team are only forcing it now because Von Davis has the age advantage, while Lomachenko is clearly on his way out of the sport. He's a bum. This and a third. I tried to fight Isaac Cruz first. He was the first person I tried to fight. Shakur Stevenson has promised to wait for his time. And while he does that, he has officially sought the company of Isaac Pitbull Cruz to keep him busy. Realistically, Isaac Cruz isn't one of those fighters that can be used as a pushover, as he has immense skill and power. As well, before Von Davis met Isaac Cruz in the ring some years back, Tank was on a 16-match knockout streak. Does this deserve a rematch? Hell no, but I appreciate shockingly Isaac Cruz was able to see the fight till the very end, making Dan Davis's win even more controversial, as many felt Pitbull Cruz was the favorite to win. Ever since then, Von Davis has faced top fighters like Ryan Garcia, Frank Martin, and Rolando Romero, yet none of these fighters have done what Isaac Cruz did, especially when it's remembered that he took the fight against the hard-hitting Gervin Davis in a month's notice. As much as this fight looks exciting for fans, Shakur Stevenson might be taking a great risk fighting Isaac Cruz, who's almost as threatening as the real opponent he's waiting for, Gervin Davis. Well, desperate times require desperate measures. And since many fighters haven't shown interest in fighting him, Isaac Cruz was the only option that could bring the desired financial rewards and also bring some recognition and accolades should he come out victorious. With the confirmation of the match, Shakur Stevenson is clearly setting up his life after Top Rank, as his next fight against Artem Harun would be his last fight with Top Rank, as he's now 1 foot out already. But any fan would ask how they came to an agreement, seeing the fight was to happen 2 years ago. However, Isaac Cruz's team shunned the idea of facing Shakur Stevenson. Well, Shakur Stevenson made a different approach this time with different promises. Secondly, Isaac Cruz is now a world champion, which makes it easier for him to select fam randomly, compared to when he was pushing so hard to get a world title. I should be back in March, probably even April. And which opponent are you looking at? It maybe Cambos is 'cause of opposing business interests was what prevented Shakur Stevenson and Isaac Cruz from fighting at any point in their career. And with Shakur Stevenson now almost out of Top Rank, an agreement has been easily reached. Those two lightweight contenders are represented by competing promoters and appear on different networks. But that didn't stop the World Boxing Council from ordering a final elimination match Wednesday between Stevenson and Cruz. Pitbull turned me down and Zappa turned me down. Mauricio Solomon, president of the World Boxing Council, announced during the sanctioning organization's convention in Acapulco, Mexico, that Stevenson and Cruz must fight next if they want a chance to become the World Boxing Council's mandatory challenger in the 135-pound division. Mexico City's Cruz had just knocked out countryman Eduardo Ramirez in the second round of their action, which was scheduled as a 12-er WBC elimination match, September 4th at Crypto Arena in Los Angeles. I know from the rankings Campos is next. So I think it will be a Campos. The left-handed Stevenson relinquished his World Boxing Council and World Boxing Organization 130 pounds championships when he couldn't make weight the day before his last fight. Stevenson came in 1.5 PBS overweight, September 22nd, and announced he would move up to the lightweight division before being forced to settle for a showdown against Shuichiro Yoshino. Shakur Stevenson did his best to lure one of the lightweight division's more established stars into the ring. Isaac Cruz. Probably. I think it's sad. I think this is boxing in sad state, where fighters can just duck. However, after making it painfully clear that Stevenson 2-0-0-1-0 Cruz wasn't in their immediate plans, the former Olympic silver medalist turned his attention elsewhere. Initially, Team Cruz remained mum on why they opted to go in another direction. But after being bombarded with questions, Team Cruz revealed that Stevenson's defensive approach would lead to a boring fight. Isaac Cruz's manager, Shan Gibbons, had also explained why his fighter turned down a clash with Shakur Stevenson. I'll get away with it. I think that the fans and everybody allowed them to duck. I think, speaking to B-Way Gibbons, said that super lightweight is now one of the most exciting divisions in boxing. He said everybody is going up to fight at 140, aside from Shakur Stevenson. Somebody nobody wants to watch. I don't care what weight. He said he's got a boring, ugly, terrible style. You'll see Cruz and Rayleigh would be a great fight. To forget about that previous fight. Cruz had that was my fault. Nobody really got on top of him the way that if I was to do something like that, or I take all the blame for putting him in with an awful style of boxing. But that's what happens when you fight stinky fighters. At the end of the day, we won't make that mistake again. We want to make exciting fights in 2024. We can't wait anymore, as he hasn't had a signature fight since Devon Davis 2 years ago. We got ridiculed for turning Shakur down, but we did the fans a favor. Thank God we turned the fight down, as it would have been a bad fight. And not because of us. We can't get Vasyl Lomachenko or George Kambosos Jr., so we are focused on either Rally Romero or Ryan Garcia. Next, we would fight in a heartbeat. We want to fight Ryan. We want to fight Rai. We want to fight anybody on anybody but Shakur Stevens. I'm happy he retired. Thank God. Isaac Cruz has one of the biggest Hispanic followings in boxing. It's either Saul Canelo Alvarez or Isaac Cruz that crosses over to the Hispanic market. And we know Ryan Garcia has a huge crossover following too outside of boxing. So it has all of the makings of a huge fight, having taken the time to soak in what Team Cruz had to say about his overall style. Stevenson recently fired back at what he believes were Iran claims. Pitbull doesn't want no smoke, said Stevenson on his Instagram Live. And you know Shakur is a great fighter, but in with a style like Esau Cruz, a guy he would be running worse than Riyadh. So I was right there in front of everybody. I don't run, as Stevenson alluded to ease up his aggression in recent years. Even when tasked with facing a bigger man in Yoshino, the former two-time world titleist planted his feet and snapped back the head of the Japanese product, resulting in a 6th-round stoppage victory. Cruz similarly has been on a rampage in his own right following his close but clear defeat at the hands of Dan Davis. The Mexican native saw his stock soar in 2 of his latest appearances in the ring. Before Rally Romero, he violently ended the night of both Yoki and Eduardo Ramirez. All in all, Stevenson's need to face Cruz February 1st, 247 KOs. stemmed from his desire to have his championship wishes plated fight. They said no, his team said no, his manager said no, father said no, I want to fight yet. With several of the division's big names deciding against facing Stevenson, the 25-year-old slithered his way up the standings, though a showdown against Cruz never came to fruition. Stevenson wholeheartedly believed that if the two were to swap fists, the highly ranked contender would have nothing in his arsenal to change the one-sided beating that was bound to occur in the car train. Well, of your dad and your manager said, no, we don't want the fight. I would have beat the hell out of him. He is too little dude. Can't do nothing to me. While the matchup has now been verbally agreed, Shakur Stevenson must clear off the obstacle of Arm Harut Union before going ahead into such a big matchup. A loss wouldn't only damage the possibility of this fight, but would do much more damage to his career. And even if Shakur Stevenson comes up with a win, but performs the same way he did against Edwin de los Santos, then he just may never fight a big fighter ever again. We go, what are we looking for early on Shakur's gonna have to get, so Stevenson captured the vacant World Boxing Council lightweight crown with a unanimous decision win against Dominican puncher Edwin dos Santos. At T-Mobile Arena in Las Vegas, Nevada, the 26-year-old southpaw delivered a slow-paced technical boxing match, rarely giving dos Santos any opportunity to land on him by moving around the ring to avoid exchanges time from